A very good evening. Welcome to ELITETV and you're watching Open Debate in English. I'm your host Chongtham Amrita and today we are going to be debating and discussing on the topic 20 BJP MLAs to resign with a big question mark. A news report has emerged in the Hindu newspaper yesterday that says that 20 BJP MLAs are ready to quit if the centre does not act fast to resolve the Manipur crisis. This was a statement made by a BJP MLA anonymously. He says that more than 45 days have been passed after the Union Home Minister promised to reach out to both the warring communities, that is the Meitei and the Kokizo communities, but till today, no such meeting has been materialized. Shri Paulian Lal Haukip, a BJP MLA from Saikot, he said that he has not been approached by anyone from the ministry regarding this matter. This is a strong revelation and reflects deep discord within the ruling government and also within the party itself. And at the same time, local newspaper reports that the Honorable Chief Minister Sri Biren Singh made a request or invited the Mizoram Chief Minister Laldu Homa to be a negotiator in the peace process between the Meiteis and the Kukis. Most people are obviously very puzzled by this because ethnically he belongs to the Kuki Jinzo community. His neutrality might be questioned if the peace process breaks down. And Mizoram also, we all know that it openly supports the cause of the Kuki. He is one of those people that could pose a serious issues because of his open sides, because of his open bias regarding the Kuki cause, and he is also most likely to harbor feelings of his own people. And our debate today is on the possibility of the wisdom of Sri Laldu Homa of being appointed as a negotiator, and also the timing of the revelations of the BJP MLAs saying that they will be ready to quit if the centre does not take action fast. So to debate and discuss on this matter, our expert panelists are present here with through online medium. Let's take a moment to welcome and introduce our panelists for tonight. Our first panelist for tonight is joining us from Delhi, Oja Junior Luwang, Advocate, Supreme Court of India. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you, Amrita. Thank you.
Our second panelist for tonight is Oja Ningombam Bupenda, Senior Spokesperson, Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee. Oja, welcome to Open Debate. And our third panelist for tonight is Oja P. Sonamani, Socio-Political Commentator. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you so much.
Oja Luwang, I'll first start with you and I will open the floor with you in this question that we have regarding the 20 BJP MLAs threatening to quit if the government, especially if the central government fails to restore peace and normalcy in the state. This is a very extreme step and this is a very strong revelation. So what, according to you, do you think made them leak such a stand to the press? Do you think that this is a pressure tactics from the side of the BJP MLAs to the central government, or do you think that there is deep discord within the ruling government itself and also within the party? So why do you think, first of all, they made such a very strong statement? I would like to hear from Yoja.
Yeah, Amrita, there are two possible things on the reported or a suspected leakage of the position likely to be taken by 20 BJP MLAs, as you put it, and as it appeared in newspapers. One is that they themselves had purposely leaked it to give a message to the central government and also to their colleagues in Manipur. Second is that the press itself has come to know on its own, through his own network, because the press also always tries to find out what's going on behind the scene. So these are two alternative possible scenarios of the report coming in. To your question on the possible context of this development, I think it's already too late for this kind of a reaction. Of course, it's better. It's always better to happen, even if it is late. But it's a reaction which they should have done. They should have made long before, because the crisis has gone on for too long a time. So this is indeed a good development, though little late. I mean, the Prime Minister, except on two occasions, one in the Parliament and another when the two women were paraded naked, Those were the only times when the Prime Minister, spoke on Manipur. So this is very, very unfortunate. In fact, he should come down to Manipur and personally intervene in the ongoing tussle, make give a message of peace to all the communities to calm it down. That will give some kind of emotional satisfaction to all the communities in Manipur. But that has not happened. So the only possible reaction is for the legislators to react, and this is indeed a good news for us and for the people of Manipur. If the elected government, both at the center and at the state in Manipur, if they are not listening to people's difficulties and woes for such a long time, this is a reaction. This is a natural reaction. You know what's happening in Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina has resigned, come to India to take shelter. And when people wishes are not addressed for such a long time, this is a reaction which people in the modern world should only expect. But this aside, the reported news of these 20 BJP MLAs coming out in whatever way they can, quitting or whatever, forming a different political party or aligning with some other party, it demonstrates one important facet of the political development in Manipur. One is that all is not well within the ruling party.
Right.
Because 20 MLAs saying that they will quit. I don't know whether they will quit from the membership of the Legislative Assembly. In that case, certain legal ramifications follow. But as per me, there are three possible scenarios. One is that because of the threatened quitting of these 20 MLAs, there could be a change of leadership at the head of affairs, if you know what I mean. If there is something which they will satisfy them, we have experience also for the top post. So that is one possible development we can expect. Second is that these 20 MLAs might come out and get it merged with some other political party or from a coalition. Now that we have a NDA, National Democratic Alliance, you never know. There could be another local, say, parallel, maybe you call it MDA, Manipur Democratic Alliance. It could be an alliance of BJP MLAs and Congress, and then we have JDU, we have NPP. I think they will all put together. I think they will pass through this test of 31 MLAs number, which is the majority mark. So that's another possibility. If the first possibility doesn't happen, the second possibility is either a merger of 2-3 political parties in Manipur, or some kind of alliance on the lines which I have suggested coming up, and then replacing the present political dispensation. Now the third is that, as I said, which is most unlikely, that there could be a fresh election. The 20 MLAs come out, which will not be who will not be affected by the 10 schedule, because the 10 schedule says that if 2/3 of the total strength of the members of a political party come out for merger with another political party or voting a different political party, the 10th schedule doesn't get attracted, in the sense that they will not get disqualified. So the third possibility is that because they have quit, because the government is of the opinion that unless and until a fresh government is formed, there will be no political stability. Then there is a case for fresh election in Manipur. So these are the say possibilities that could happen in the future. If at all, these 20 MLAs, as reported, really act on their so-called resolution as on today. But as I see it, it could be more of a posturing for political gains. Maybe they have their own hidden agenda. Because if you look at the report, there is no timeline indicated for the central government. Like they could have said that if we don't act on Manipur, if the Prime Minister doesn't intervene in the manner which we like, say by the 10th of September or 30th of August, a timeline could have been given, but there is no timeline given. So it could be a political posturing just because one or two of them could be aspiring to become the chief minister. That's a possibility. I see more as a posturing because there is no timeline given. Same with NPP. As you put it rightly, NPP has been saying that now I think Comrade Sangma has got on record saying that next time there will be no pre-poll alliance with BJP. These are all utterings, which are suitable for him at the point of time when he was speaking. This could change dramatically. You never believe what when a politician speaks like this. We believe it only when they translate what they speak into action right now. That's believable. But all that posturing and all that prophecy about what could happen, what may not happen in the future, that according to me is not reliable or rather irrelevant at this point of time. So depending on how they perceive the situation, either of the three things which I have suggested could happen. But as I said at the end, that it looks to me as more of a political posturing. There is no timeline. They have been threatening here and there for a long time. Maybe that it's more for addressing their personal ambitions within the political dispensation, which is ruling now. Most importantly, BJP. So let's see. I mean, I personally I don't believe such kind of statements unless and until they have a deadline. They declare the concrete plans with what they would do and the specific timelines against each of the action items. So
yes,
let's keep on guessing.
Yes, Oja Junior, just to follow up on that, this, as you say, that these are just utterings from the BJP MLA because they have not set any timelines regarding that. So my question is, do you think that the MLAs, especially the ruling MLAs, have failed to contain or resolve this crisis, and hence they are now making such very strong revelations? Do you think that they have completely forgone the power that they have already?
Well, Amrita, you see, in this kind of a situation where the conflict is between two communities, and we have members from both the communities and the state assembly, it's not totally within their domain or within their power to resolve such a large-scale violence, at one go. So I would not blame each of the MLAs separately, but I would blame them if they fail in their collective action in terms of giving more pressure to the central government. This is one act which can be little, you can say, landmark in the sense that it could bring down the present government, give a lot of pressure to the central government. But as I said, since there is no timeline, there is no concrete plan, I really don't think that they are willing to do what they have promised. Basically, we know it very, very well. There is a lot of local pressure on our MLAs by our lot of groups which are operating in Manipur. We know what happened within the Assam Rifles compound some months back. Maybe that this kind of a statement is to address some of these specific issues raised by the local population and to be seen as doing something for the government for the people of Manipur. Not that they want to, but they have been forced to issue such a statement. But I'm not very sure about their actual intent. Their intent could be personal because one or two would be having this, cultivating this, ambition of becoming the head of the state, the head of the government, or maybe they actually believe in what they are saying. So we have to keep our fingers crossed and see what happens in the next 2-3 weeks or the days to come.
Okay, thank you for your point, Oja. I'll come back to you again later. Now, moving on to Oja Ningombam Bupenda, I'll carry that question that Oja Junior has said that maybe there could be a third option, that if the 20 BJP MLAs do indeed resign, and there may need to be there may need to hold a fresh elections in the assembly because there are only 37 BJP MLAs in the assembly, and also they are forming the alliance and they have the majority. But again, if there are these 20 MLAs, if these threats are indeed true, this assembly could collapse because earlier, as Oja Junior also mentioned, that the Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, he has said that clearly that the BJP and the NPP would not tie up in the future. And also there have been repeatedly from the side of the NPP Manipur, repeatedly they have said that if the government does not resolve this crisis, maybe it is time for the NPP to break away or walk away from this alliance. So there has been repeated threats from all these parties, from the alliance, that they will walk away if. So the question is if, and they of course do not have any timeline regarding that. So my question is, do you think there need to be a fresh election? Do you think, what is going on with all of these threats to walk away? And what are your thoughts on this, Bupenda? Take away.
Well, I personally believe that none of the MLAs or even none of the MPs will resign. In the last 14 months. It's going to be 1.5 years. I think that any MLA will dare to resign. Now, there are, as reported, 20 BJP MLAs. They are saying that they will resign. But then we even don't know the lists of the names of these 20 MLAs. But what do they want? See, if you see in a holistic manner, we believe that in terms of resignation, if they wish to resign from the party, they should have resigned long back. What is the need for them to say that they are going to resign? Let their resignation letter from their party speaks by itself. Mm-hmm. If anybody says that I'm going to resign by not saying a particular deadline, it is as good as saying that he or she is not going to resign at all.
Okay.
So usually when we find someone resigning in politics, we normally don't see a statement that a person who is going to resign saying that he or she is going to resign. We usually see the resignation letter. And the resignation letter, resigning from the party or resigning from the Council of Ministers or resigning from his or her position from the party or being a primary member, whatever may be, we see the resignation letter comes first, and then their statement that the reason why they resigned from the party or from their position or from any position or from whatever manner they wish to say. But here, the state has been in turmoil for the last 14 months. Mm-hmm. And if you see, there are BJP MLAs who actually are demanding openly, publicly, to disintegrate Manipur, to break Manipur into 3 union territories. And there are still BJP ministers who don't say that they who don't stand for the territorial integrity of Manipur. In fact, they want Manipur to be broken. But those ministers, since their demands have not been met, have also not resigned from even their Council of Ministers.
Right.
So, if we see, they are enjoying the perks and privileges being a ministers in the form of online ministers, the MLAs in the form of online MLAs. They are the member of Legislative Assembly of Manipur Legislative Assembly. They are MLA. But then they deliberately have chosen not to come here on the floor of the house. Whatever grievances they have, whatever statement they wish, instead of tweeting on Twitter or X, they could have come, they could have joined the assembly session this time. If they are concerned about the security, we have the Union Home Minister. We have the Central Government of India. Anybody, any MLA cannot be merely harmed just like that. But then this indeed shows that there is no seriousness. Those even who are demanding for the breakup of Manipur, they themselves are also not serious. If they don't want to be a part of Manipur Legislative Assembly, they should have resigned long back. They should have even relieved themselves from the Council of Ministers. But they also haven't done it. Now, how can we expect in such a scenario from these BJP MLAs to resign? On the ground, the Prime Minister hasn't acted. On the ground, maybe the Prime Minister hasn't come to Manipur. on the ground that they are best known to them, which we don't know. But we don't wish to know the reasons. We want to see the resignation later. Because this government has failed, this double-engine government, the BJP state government here in Manipur and the BJP central government in New Delhi, both have failed in bringing normalcy in the state in the last 14 months. Mm-hmm. The question is, when will the Chief Minister of Manipur go to Churachandpur, go to Kangpokpi, go to More? When will the Council of Ministers, when can a cabinet meeting be held in Kangpokpi, in Churachandpur, in More? We would like to know the time, in 2025 or 2026 or 2027 or in 2050. So this shows that the seriousness in tackling this issue, the turmoil that has been there for the last 14 months, hasn't been taken in that manner that the people of Manipur have been expecting from both this central as well as from the state governments. So, as I have said, nobody is going to resign. Mm-hmm. We don't want to see this resignation drama. We have seen the resignation drama of the Chief Minister himself. What happened to that resignation? What happened to that resignation? Newspapers have reported that even the Honorable Speaker has gone to Delhi. We don't know how far it is true or not. But the Speaker is a constitutional post. Now, imagine if 20 BJP MLAs wish to resign, or supposing if they are resigning from the party, then they cease to be an MLA. But right. Tomorrow, if they defect and join any other party, or if they form any other party, even in the form of 2/3. But mind you, there are 5 MLAs who were elected on JDU and they have defected to BJP. And the matters are still pending in the Speaker's tribunal right now.
Right.
So the Speaker hasn't decided so far on the disqualification of those 5 MLAs. Whether they are to be disqualified or not, it is for the Speaker's tribunal to decide. But so far they haven't. That decision hasn't come. So in totality, there are originally only 32 BJP MLAs, and 5 JDU MLAs have defected to become BJP, and now the number says is 37. Let it be. So the issue is, it is their political call. And why are they thinking of resigning now after 14 months? They should have thought way back, long back. But then they must be saying some other wasted their own private political interest. So if we see in totality, the issue, the turmoil is a very serious in nature. And even the language, the vocabulary of the Chief Minister also is changing. Mm-hmm. People use the term like conflict. Today, the Honorable Chief Minister has used the word turmoil. The word turmoil has been used by the Chief Minister today on the floor of the House in today's assembly sitting. Right. So this shows that this issue is a very complex. It's very complex, and it is beyond our apprehension, and it may take some time, no doubt. But then there should be a will. The will of the government, both in New Delhi and Imphal, that has to be transparent, and that must come up to the expectation of the people. And we can't wait for years and years for us to be able to go to Kangpokpi or More or Chongtham. Should we wait till 2050? Should we wait till 2027? Should we wait till 2029 for a common man from Imphal to go to More, to go to Mao via Kangpokpi? How long we will remain like this? So this is a high time that, in fact, if there has to be a requirement of a moral, of resignation on moral ground, then both the Prime Minister. Unfortunately, we have the same person becoming the Prime Minister for the 3rd time. If there were a change of the Prime Minister, then there could be a possibility in some other matter. That also hasn't happened, unfortunately. But then, the same Prime Minister, we expect him to come. So far, he hasn't come in the last 14 months. So, we, from the opposition, from the Congress, from India Alliance, because of our pressure on him to speak, both in the House as well as outside the House, that pressure has forced him to speak. And now we are demanding him at least kindly come here in Manipur. our leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Shri Rahul Gandhi, has come here in Manipur thrice after 3rd of May 2023. We want, at least he is the Prime Minister of this country, he is also our Prime Minister. And within the BJP MLAs, we have BJP MLA who prominently and very confidently talks about breaking Manipur into 3 union territories, when the Supreme Court has already upheld and said that a state cannot be reduced to union territory.
Right.
He has taken an oath under the Constitution of India. And how can we see such unconstitutionality? By saying that, he is befooling a large section of the people here in our state. He is giving a false hope that can never be materialized as long as this Constitution of India exists, as long as the Supreme Court's judgment gets held. So we cannot remain like this forever. If MLAs are not attending the House, which is the sacrosanct character and the place of people's temple in the form of our democracy, then there has to be a serious debate.
Yes, indeed. Bupenda, just to interrupt to you for a minute, there has been this news item, actually an event of the Manipur BJP MLAs going to New Delhi and seeking the audience of the Prime Minister. And when the signed letter from all of the BJP MLAs were sent to the PMO's office, it was returned back saying that for them to meet with the Home Minister itself, and then they returned back, of course, for the assembly session to start. So they in this news report from the Hindu newspaper, they also mentioned that after more than 45 days of the meeting, the high security meeting chaired by the Home Minister, it comprised of the DGP and also the security advisor regarding the case of this conflict. And they said that after even more than 45 days of that meeting, nothing has been taken up regarding any meeting for that, and no one has been reached out regarding that. So that has also been mentioned in this article. So what do you make of that?
Well, the fundamental question is the Prime Minister of this country, Shri Narendra Modi, serious, proactively in bringing normalcy in Manipur? Let's go back slightly in 2022. If we see the Godhra case, the Godhra riot in Gujarat, well, at that point of time, the entire fiasco was looked after not by Union Home Ministry. It was looked after by Prime Minister's office, by the then Cabinet Secretary. So here, this turmoil in Manipur, which is happening for the last 14 months, is unprecedented in our country, in our state. And because of this unprecedentedness, we expected at least the indulgence of the Prime Minister's office. But then, what does the Prime Minister's office say? When we, the opposition, India Alliance, went to Prime Minister's office, went to Prime Minister's Secretariat to seek an appointment with the Prime Minister, they did not give the appointment to us. Instead of Prime Minister meeting us, we waited for almost a month in New Delhi. He went straight to United States. Prime Minister has time to go to United States. Prime Minister doesn't have even time to meet us. Then, what did the official, the senior bureaucrat in Prime Minister's office tell us at that point of time? He says, in this regard, kindly Home Ministry, the Union Home Ministry is taking care. So why, the question is, we will like to know that what is stopping the Prime Minister's office, or what is stopping the Cabinet Secretary to come here in Manipur? Who is stopping Cabinet Secretariat to get involved in the entire strategic management of bringing peace and normalcy in the state? It appears that the entire turmoil of Manipur has been left over to Union Home Ministry only to settle the issue. That is very mild, because our turmoil is very complicated in nature. We have a border with Myanmar, we have an issue in Bangladesh now, and this has a huge international ramification and with its deep implications. And therefore, only the Home Ministry, which is just a mere one ministry, cannot solve it. We will need an expertise, we will need an observations, discussions from Defense Ministry, Ministry of External Affairs, Home Ministry, Finance Ministry too. And therefore, in order to have the well-coordinated observation discussions of the different ministries, the appropriate forum must have been the Prime Minister's office. He is headed by Cabinet Secretary. But unfortunately, Cabinet Secretary, either Cabinet Secretary or Principal Secretary to Prime Minister. It is just being handled by Home Secretary, Union Home Minister, Minister of State for Home Affairs. So this shows that Prime Minister appears to be not so safe. We will like the Prime Minister's office get involved. We will like the Cabinet Secretary get involved. We will like the Cabinet Secretary get involved in solving this issue, the crisis in Manipur.
Okay, very points. I'll come back to you again, Bupenda. You have mentioned very crucial points, then I'd like to take that up in the next round now. Moving on with this, I'll now like to come to Babu P. Sonamani. Oja, you have heard two speakers speak regarding the 20 BJP MLAs about to resign, the threat and all of that, and all of the complications that might arise, and also maybe it could be just a political move. And now my question to you is that at the same time this news emerged, there is another parallel that's going on, that is regarding the Chief Minister, inviting the Chief Minister of Mizoram, Lalduhoma, to visit Imphal and also to be the mediator regarding this Meitei Kuki conflict and be a mediator in this. And this statement was made by the Chief Minister to Sri Lalduhoma at the Niti Aayog meeting that was concluded just a week ago. So the thing is that there is a mixed response regarding Sri Lalduhoma to being a mediator or a negotiator. If he will be appointed by the Home Minister as a mediator, or was he just was he only invited from the side of the Manipur Chief Minister? There are many mixed reactions. So Oja, what do you think of this?
Amrita, good evening to ELITETV and to you and my colleague Bupenda and Mr. Luwang and the world listeners. It's a really, we are in a chaotic situation. Reason being, Bupenda and the Luwang had already highlighted who were these 20 MLAs who are playing joke. Because these are all dramas should not have come up at this juncture. So when the political turmoil, rather than the butchering we the innocent people mostly by the chain cookie terrorists, everybody knows it. On the other hand, we may not be totally wrong to say, that government of India, why she is so silent, why she is so distant rather than the solving it. You have asked that Mr. Lalduhoma's, he is being invited by the government of India to negotiate the Chin Cookie Joe and this Manipuris, not Manipuris, Manipur. We have no identity called that Manipur Chief Minister or Manipur Chief Secretary or LM Khote Cookie DGP. No. We considered every citizen, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, who stay in Manipur or are Manipur citizen. We treat equally. We never said that it's a cookie DGP, it is only for the cookie police headed by LM Khote. No. This has been wrong narrative has been exhibited in everywhere. Anyway, I would like to bring to the attention to the BJP. BJP, what we personally feel, you try to clean your own house not in order. Say, in your own BJP, you have too many enemies in your own group. You try to make order or clean your house, number one. Number two, at this juncture, we cannot give, and the government should not give any kinds of which is not possible and which is a very unlikely such kind of a statement. I think you would like to control it. Bupenda has highlighted more or less. I find him to be today, the government is very lucky because opposition's spokesperson was very shocked, and rather he advised and to control yourself and to look after your own house rather than the blaming on others. He is right that way. I find him that today he is very, very soft and very, very properly he had advised. So you must acknowledge it. After all, the opposition leaders, they are not your enemies. They are your colleagues. They are your friends. You never know tomorrow how the wind changes. Because the BJP, you may fall it tomorrow. The after tomorrow, Congress may form it. Because you are all in the same boat, you are sailing it. Whatever might be the reason, every citizen, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, Manipur, belongs to everybody. We know that inviting Mr. Laldoma, so there is a Laldoma, he is a chief minister of the Mizoram. Okay, that's a government of India's initiative. I would like to bring it to your attentions to the government of India. There is one line in the Bengali in 1952, what I read, 1952 when I was in class 2. Koila dhuleo na jai moila means a charcoal who is in the black in color. Whatever you bring it the surf and you wash it and you clean it more and more, that black color will again appear again and again. Black will continue to remain in the charcoal. So, koila dhuleo na jai moila. Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Laldoma, who is he? He has replaced the Mr. Joramthanga. What is the Mizoram's Chief Minister and the Mizo people's their dream? A Joe country. A person who is heading a state and a person who is following the footprints of the Joe, Chin Cookie Joe for the forming of a Joe country. And he has to meditate. What a ridiculous. This is something which we do not want to hear it. Let us not play fun either by the government of Manipur and also to the government of India. Don't play fun. We want a neutral persons who should not side to the Manipuri or the Manipur people, not Manipuri. This conflict is not to the Meitei alone. This conflict is really harming to the entire community of Manipur rather than this particular community. So one cannot try to make it a point that this is a Meitei and a Chin Cookie Joe. Not at all. When the problem comes, when the essential commodities prices is shoot up, it is not only for the Meitei people buying. These are all the 34 communities who lives in and around here in Impal, in other places. They are also buying. They are also sufferer. Then how can you say that? How they can say that this is a conflict between only Meitei and the Chin Cookie Joe? This is a ridiculous, absurd government of India. Don't try to make foul. And secondly, government, you must take serious. And these 20 MLAs, who are those, we do not know. You are MLA. Luckily, you are elected. Don't play foul with the people. And don't play such kind of a blame game and you want to walk out or you are an opportunist. No, at this juncture, people are watching you. You were elected MLA. We said that you are honorable MLA. Do you really deserve? By saying that, no, we should resign it, we should throw him up. If you have the courage, you throw the Mr. Biren and say, you become a chief minister. If you cannot, then you follow him or the government, you be with the government or you be with the party. Don't be opportunist. This is my humble submission to those MLAs. Don't think that you have become MLA, that you can contravene the law or that you can play the game, whatever you feel like the people said, just like a football. By these people for 5 years, I have already purchased them. I have already owned them. So don't worry. I can play. I can kick football from here to another goalpost to another. No, we people, we are very intelligent. We are watching you this time. You never know what will be your fate. Tomorrow you may not come in the election again. You may be defeated again. When the people are so serious, think that 70,000 people are how they are stranded in this IDPs, their camp. See, think for them. Rather you are owing that 20, you are working out and you are trying to form the government. The Bupenda has already highlighted. Let me not repeat it. Don't be selfish. Let us join it. When the opposition is there to lay their hands, that they extended their hands, that we are with you. Yes, they're right. Opposition is a part of the government. So opposition should not be taken light. Their advice, their criticism should be taken into consideration. And this is the good point they have raised the point.
Yes, Babung, just to interrupt you just for a moment, you said that this mediator being, the Chief Minister of Mizoram being a mediator is ridiculous. That's what you said. So on that note, do you think that before inviting the Chief Minister of Mizoram or any other state to be the mediator in this conflict, do you think that the BJP party, regarding the MPs threatening to resign and all of this inner turmoil that we have seen from the BJP party itself, do you think that the BJP party first needs to have a mediator within themselves to resolve issues and then continue and look outwards regarding this conflict? Do you think?
No.
What would that
my suggestion is that my suggestions a neutral persons who maintains a credibility. Whatever might be, Mr. Laldoma, he belongs to the Chin Kuki Joe's leader. Their intention is, I am not blaming him, but they are predecessors. They are all Chin Kuki Joes who have innovated in the Bangladesh or in the Tripura and the Myanmar, all everybody. Their sole intention is that to have a Joe country. They may have this opinion or notion, I have no any objection, but a person who try to disintegrate, when they say that Chin Kuki Joe to have a separate country and they have their moral right to claim, but that doesn't mean that same groups, the leaders should be invited to negotiate for the Manipur, such the burning issue. No. One person should be one respectable, one person whose credibility, who maintains it from any other group or for any other community, for any other state. For me, I feel that will be the proper. Supposing in the Mizoram and the Manipur, we are now fighting now. And if Mr. Biren Singh is to be the leader, and if he is to be the mediator, will the Chin Kuki Joe, they will agree? I don't think so. Then if so, Bharat Sarkar, are you trying to fool us, or are you thinking that we become a puppet? Your government, your BJP leaders, they may be puppet. We people, we civilian, we are not puppet. We want a credible person who maintains his own dignity and his honesty. He should be free from inclination to any other group, and who really will try to find out the reality. It is not that the split of the state or the union territory question does not arise. So that's why I say there should be a plausible explanation. Your suggestion should be accepted by the both sides. If the government, if the Manipur government, if she at all approach, I will strongly object. I will vehemently object. No, you are doing you are cutting your own leg by your own acts. Why not another third party, maybe from Nepal, maybe from the America, maybe from China, any country? But no Chin Kuki Joe should be the mediator. How ridiculous! As I said, koila dhulio na jai moila. Charcoal is charcoal. More you wash it, more you try to clean it, more and more that dark color black will shine again and again. Same thing.
Yes,
so remember.
Yes, Babung, indeed a very good point that you don't agree, that you will not accept this step even if it happens. So now, Babung, I'll come back to you.
Not at all.
Yes,
not at all.
Yes, Babung, I'll come back to you again very shortly. Now, moving on with our debate, I'll first again go to Oja Junior, and then I'll come back to you, Oja. Thank you so much for your points, and and thank you for making your opinions known. Now, Oja Junior, I'd like to come back to you again. Regarding this step taken by the Chief Minister to invite the Chief Minister of Mizoram to come to visit Imphal, it is open now. It was stated in today's newspaper as well as yesterday's newspaper. It said that it was made during the Niti Aayog meeting. So it must have happened when all the Chief Ministers gathered there for the Niti Aayog summit. So my question is, there are many issues from all the sides of Manipur, from the intellectual circle, from all the circles, saying that this is a very, very surprising step from the side of the Chief Minister of Manipur. Because what could be the reason for the Chief Minister to have this, to invite this? Because could it be Laldohoma's proximity to the Prime Minister? Because we all know that he has met with the Prime Minister twice, and also met with Amit Shah, with the Home Minister recently, and it was also brought up in their discussion regarding the crisis of Manipur currently. So what could be the reason for our Chief Minister to have taken such a very sudden and strange step?
Amrita, there are two aspects of the questions which you put it to me. One is whether the present Chief Minister of Mizoram should be the right person, or is the right person to conciliate or mediate in the present issues between the two communities in Manipur. Second is, do we have actual justified reasons to oppose such a role to be played by the Chief Minister of Mizoram? On the first part, on his suitability to be a mediator or to be a conciliator, or maybe somebody who will try to use his office, good office, for the purpose of solving the Manipur turmoil. The answer to this is that maybe he is not the right person to mediate between the two communities at this point of time. One, because he belongs to one of the groups or subgroups who are involved in the present issue. Second is that I think he also has made some public statements expressing his opinion on some specific issues relating to the present turmoil. Of course, those are not to the liking of one community in Manipur. So a person who has shown his bias, his prejudice in public forum should not have allowed himself to be used as a mediator or a conciliator, or allowed his office to be utilized for the purpose of solving the dispute. So that's the ethical part of the issue. Now, coming to the second part of what I have informed during my first opening remark is that even if he comes as a mediator or as a conciliator, or even if reportedly our present Chief Minister of Manipur has invited him to use his good office to solve the present issue. Now, under the legal framework and the rules and the regulations of India, let me tell you that we don't have anything to be afraid of, because a mediator or a conciliator or somebody who is trying to use his office has no power, he's not a judge.
Mm-hmm.
He's not supposed to, or he's not allowed to impose his views or his opinion on the present dispute. His views and his opinions are not at all binding, are not at all enforceable at all. He's not a judge. He's just trying to facilitate the solution of the problems which are intriguing the two communities as on today. If you see the Mediation Act of 2023, of course, it doesn't apply to the present issue. Once parties agree, which the mediator will facilitate by way of giving suggestions or otherwise, only when the parties sign on the dotted line on the settlement agreement, of course, the mediator also will sign, but more as a witness, not as a judge. Then becomes binding. I'm not saying that the attempted effort or the effort which is being made is on the line of the actual mediation or the conciliation, which usually happens within the legal framework of Manipur. I think he is trying to become some kind of a go-between to bring more understanding between the two communities. Of course, if he can bring a solution, or he can bring about a formula amicably acceptable to both the parties, good luck to him. It's good for both the communities. I don't see any issue in that. So we don't have to be scared, or we don't have to be, I'm not talking about we as a community, but we as a people of Manipur. Both the communities have nothing to have apprehensions about a mediator coming in and then passing orders and judgments, and then which are binding for binding on both the communities. This is not what is being contemplated. Even if he wants to, he can't. That's the role which is usually played by a mediator or a conciliator or somebody who is trying to use his office to solve the issue. It's just a political settlement which he might be trying to bring. Of course, whether the Chief Minister has rightly or wrongly invited him to be the mediator, that's a political question. If he agrees to become a mediator, personally, I have no problem. If he can bring about a solution which is acceptable to both the parties, to both the communities, personally, I see no problem, because he has no role to play except as a witness, as somebody who is trying to, who will facilitate the meeting, arrange cups of tea, have arrange samosas, extend a conference hall. Mm-hmm. He's sitting at the end of the table, and absolutely he has no powers to pass.
So he has no say regarding any matters that will be decided.
He has no powers. He has no powers.
Process.
In such matters, even within the legal framework, as a mediator, as a conciliator, they have no powers. They can just listen to both the parties and then give suggestions here and there. It's like more like some kind of a panchayat or a kangaroo court, where you basically try to facilitate. In villages, it actually happened. And under tribal laws, the two warring parties or the disputing parties come forward, sit on a particular place, and then some village elderman comes, and then okay, what is acceptable to you, what is not acceptable? Okay, this part we have accepted, this part you have not accepted. Why don't we do this? We can only suggest. So nothing to be worried about, no apprehensions at all. But as I said, on the ethical part of it, he may not be the right person to mediate or to conciliate in the present matter because of his past records. So that's the point of view which I have.
Okay.
So let's not also make a mountain out of a molehill. I mean, if he agrees to it, nothing wrong in having allowing him to make attempts, and also for both the parties to sit down before the person which is acceptable to both the parties. Nothing halla bola about it. Nothing much about it.
Okay.
Okay, subject to the first observation which I have made on his suitability or unsuitability. But there's a different question. If all parties agree to it, nothing wrong with it.
Okay, then it could be a way forward to a first step towards peacemaking process. So
Yeah,
moving on, carrying that to... Yeah, okay. So carrying that to Oja Bupenda, could you respond to what Oja Junior has said also? And also, I'd like to raise the issue that earlier, the former Chief Minister of Mizoram, Sri Joram Thanga, he was also made the mediator as to peace talks with the insurgent groups in Manipur as well, and that failed because the Meitei groups did not want to heed to his words and did not listen to him. So eventually it failed. So do you think that if Sri Laldohoma, the current Chief Minister, is made the mediator, and also Junior Luwang has highlighted the fact that mediator has no say in any peacemaking process, so could that be a first step towards a peacemaking process in this current conflict? What are your thoughts?
Well, today in Manipur Legislative Assembly on the floor of the House, the Honorable Chief Minister has given his clarifactory statement saying that he per se hasn't stated anything on making the Mizoram Chief Minister as the mediator.
Okay.
But what did he say was, he indeed met with them in Meitei meeting, and like Assam Chief Minister was also talking to him, and Nagaland Chief Minister, they were exchanging pleasantries, courtesy. So in that moment, they were saying that kindly come to my state. The other Chief Minister was also saying that you also kindly come to our state. So that was an exchange of pleasantries. In that, the Chief Ministers have invited the other neighboring Chief Ministers, because they all belong to the one region of Northeast. So that was the remark which was tabled by the Chief Minister today. Now, the issue is, supposing if there is a mediator, let that mediator be in the form of the former Prime Minister, let's say I.S.D. Devi Gowda. I.S.D. Devi Gowda was the first Prime Minister who actually started that 10% of every budget in every central ministry must go to Northeast.
Right.
He was the first Prime Minister to really formally who had started the concept of donor ministry. Yes, of course, the area of Northeast was already there in Home Ministry going back, so he became the Prime Minister, but that's the point aside. So we can have mediator in the form of many other people, maybe a Nobel laureate, or maybe a group of people, or maybe some sort of NRI, or maybe in many ways. But the issue is, when we talk about mediator, that mediator is going to mediate, is going to take the middle path by talking to two opposite groups. That is the job of a mediator. But then who are these two groups? If you are saying particular community to be one group, then who will represent that particular group? If you are again going to say that the elected legislatures are going to represent that particular group, will you be happy? Or are you going to bring civil society? Are you also going to bring women, youths, the old, the aged, the senior citizens? So when we talk about community per se, imagine if there is a riot in some country between a group of a particular religion A and a group of particular religion B. Then a mediator mediate and solve the issue? Now, we have this commission of inquiry because of the notification from Union Home Ministry. Ajay Lamba Commission of Inquiry is there. That inquiry report is yet to be made public, it's yet to be tabled in the parliament. We just got to know that the tenure of the Justice retired Gita Mittal has been extended by 6 more months. We don't know what has caused these Manipur turmoils. What happened? What were the reasons behind? Some ministers or the chief ministers or the Union Home Minister or the Prime Minister, they will give so many statements. They have already given so many statements. Some of them also, they were self-contradictory. But we are yet to know the report of Commission of Inquiry on Manipur. How long will it take? It is for the Union Home Ministry to take it. We don't know that as yet. So, when we talk about mediations, when we indeed bring the mediator, then we are presuming that there are already 2 opposite groups that they really can't meet with each other. And therefore, there arises a necessity to have a mediator. But if that is the presumptions which is going to be taken when we appoint a mediator, then that also shows that will negate the reasons that the Prime Minister, the Union Home Minister has stated on the floor of the House. They will negate so many reasons that the Chief Minister of Manipur has already stated on the floor of the House in Manipur Legislative Assembly. Because there are issues of illegal immigrants. There are many other issues.
Right.
Now, do you expect that the mediator will mediate and solve the issues? Will the mediator come and mediate that the findings of Commission of Inquiry? So, it is. Indeed, it will be a matter of seriousness because there will be many people, there will be many school of thought, there will be many groups, even in the state, that they don't wish to see or they don't wish to hear the term mediator. Because the Chief Minister has already stated and the Union Home Minister has already stated long back the issue. Even the Solicitor General of India has already submitted to the Supreme Court that some of the unclaimed dead bodies, they come from across the border. Then how can mediator mediate now? If mediator is going to mediate, then what is the use of Commission of Inquiry reports? If mediator is going to mediate now, then what will happen to the statement they were made by the Prime Minister, by the Union Home Minister, by the State Chief Minister in Parliament as well as here in Manipur Legislative Assembly? So the history in future will not take it very lightly, and therefore the appointment of mediator will become extremely controversial, and this is the reason why we have been urging the Prime Minister, instead of talking or even thinking of having a mediator, you kindly call all political parties meeting. There are 60 MLAs including the Speaker. Why is that Prime Minister hasn't called all of these 60 MLAs there in New Delhi? We have 1 Chief Minister, we have 2 ex-Chief Ministers. We have MPs, we have so many other ex-MPs too. We have so many other ex-ministers, ex-MLAs. There are many political leaders of different political parties here in Manipur. So, supposing in totality, if there are around 100 people, Prime Minister can invite all these 100 people at one go. Again, if the Prime Minister wishes to bring in people from civil societies, people from youth, students, organizations, or women folk, senior citizens, that also is a very welcoming step. But then Prime Minister should at least call an all political party meeting. That should be the beginning. Instead of giving this responsibility to Union Home Minister and Home Ministry, and now instead of making or attempting that there will be a person in the form of mediator and that fellow will come up when the Prime Minister cannot solve this issue, this turmoil in the last 14 months, do you expect that the mediator will come down from the heaven to solve it within a few weeks? There is something called logic.
Right.
And logic fails here, but logic cannot fail. So, in a very simplistic manner, that no one can solve this issue. No one except the Prime Minister. That too, when the Prime Minister, with open heart, invites his own Chief Minister, his own Speaker of Manipur Legislative Assembly, his own MLAs, along with the opposition MLAs, as well as other political leaders from other political parties and other leaders from different societies of the state. Then only we will be able to see a ray of hope. Otherwise, if we are going to impose someone, maybe in any form, that will again lead to another form of disaster.
And also, Oja Bupenda, just a follow-up question that the government of India and the government of Manipur have repeatedly said, even from the starting of this year 2024, even in early January to till today, both of the central and the state government has made repeated announcements saying that there will be peace in Manipur soon. So after the the chief ministers also recently, just a few months ago, when he returned from New Delhi, he said there will be peace in Manipur in 3 months, and then before the assembly session, he said very soon there will be peace in Manipur. There will be some some new developments. So all of these claims have been made both from the center and also the state, but till today there has been no workable announcements. There has been no workable public. There is nothing public that can be made regarding this. The public has not seen any paper regarding this. So could there be could there be efforts from the back channel, from all the stakeholders, from the side of the government, in order to bring this to a workable solution first? So maybe we don't know about. So do you think that could be possible also?
Well, before talking about bringing peace and normalcy in Manipur, let's talk about bringing peace and normalcy within BJP here in Manipur.
Okay.
Who is talking about breaking Manipur into 3 union territories? It is only BJP MLA. Who is that Prime Minister who is not calling his own BJP Chief Minister? The same Prime Minister who comes from the same party called BJP. So the idea remains is, nobody will say that peace will not come. Everybody will say peace is coming soon. Normalcy is coming back. But the point is, let's assume for the time being that there is peace, normalcy. If that is so, then at least that could be reflected in the form of an invitation of the Prime Minister, inviting the Chief Minister and all the MLAs, including the Speaker, as well as other political leaders of all political parties from India. That will be a message to the entire people as well as to the entire country and the whole world that yes, normalcy is coming back. Just imagine that very moment, after 14 months, Prime Minister with 60 MLAs from Manipur, with ex-chief ministers, ex-MPs, ex-MLAs, ex-ministers, senior citizens, CSO leaders, our youth leaders, our women folk leaders from Manipur, that may be around 150 in totality. The Prime Minister's office, the Prime Minister's residence can host that. Maybe over lunch, the Prime Minister can invite, and that will be the beginning of even hoping for that ray of hope. Instead of talking about this mediator, instead of saying that you kindly go and meet the Union Home Minister, or instead of saying that no, some BJP MLAs are going to resign, we are not interested in that. Congress Party is giving full support to both the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister. You let the Chief Minister lead and let the appointment be taken from the Prime Minister. We are all ready, just for the sake of Manipur, in the larger interest of the people of Manipur.
Okay, thank you for your points. Now, moving on to Sonamani, I'd like you to supplement to what our previous speakers has also mentioned regarding this, and also I'd like to know from you that recently there has been news that the MAR INP has disowned the Jiribam unit of the MAR INP, and this was done regarding a peace agreement in Jiribam regarding the Meitei and the MAR community, saying that there will be no more fights. So they started this peace agreement, but the very next day, the Jiribam INP said that that this is null and void and also dissolve the Jiribam unit. And also this comes at the same time when there were reports that two MLAs and MR leader claimed that they met with the chief minister in Guwahati in June. And also after these reports, the Mar community also disowned these people. So my question to you is, Pabong, even if there are steps for peace taken up by such communities, this community, the members of this community completely disown them. So it is like the people don't want this peace to come to the state, and they still want to keep continuing this conflict on and on. So as a closing remark, Pabong, what do you make of that? I think, Pabong, you are on mute. Could you unmute and please make your statement in about just 5 minutes, since we are almost wrapping up?
Yes. You see, who is Mr. Laldoma? And Lusai Hill, today's Mizoram. Today's our deserted MLAs and all kind of orchestrating to wage a war against the Manipur is from the Mizoram. Mizoram is the epicenter. Our deserted 10 MLAs, how comfortably they have been accommodated. Had the Mr. Laldoma or the Jorang Thanga, had they had little sense of as a friendship, as a neighboring state, they would have advised, no, you go to your state, you would have tried to settle it there. But they are accommodating them, and they're firing shot from the Mizoram and then to the Manipur, all parts of the Manipur. So this is the Mizoram. All kind of things, our 10 MLAs, ministers, without the consent, without the hospitality of the Mizoram government, how they can stay so long, and then all kind of guidance are being orchestrated from there. This is the Mizoram who is really extending help to destroy the Manipur. I caution to the Manipur government, don't play fun. You must know who is who. Bluntly, don't give such kind of an advice or such kind of a words. This concerns our life. You may speak something today, we will not agree. A person who maintains neutrality, a person who is respectable throughout this country, such kind of a persons be invited to negotiate. Okay, fine. Negotiation terms and conditions should be, our state cannot be divided into in any section, even a 1 inch of land cannot be part way. Every citizen of the Manipur territory, every citizen should be abided of the Manipur law. Manipur government, you cannot become the puppet of the central government. I'm afraid, what about the Manipur government giving statement? Is it because being orchestrated, or is it because being tutored from Delhi? You speak like this, you say like this, so that people will quench their thirst. A person who is trying to split our Manipur, who is helping behind the curtain, our government is inviting to negotiate it. I think I don't agree this theory. So it is we are in a complex, really. So needless to say, Manipur cannot be splitted, and Manipur state cannot afford or should not even an inch to be part with any other community or to any other. You call it your own country, you call it whatever you feel like. So this is the lesson we have learned. So regarding the negotiations, as you say, no, a negotiation should be a respectable and acceptable from all section of people. A crime committed and who has accommodated in his own state, and that person comes, he becomes a mediator. By God, this kind of an idea, how it was propped up with the government of Manipur, we do not know. Manipur government, please don't play fun. We are very serious, we people. You are politicians today. Tomorrow you may go to opposition, or you may not be. We people, we are watching you. Say you're all the 10 MLAs and you're all ministers. They themselves, they kicked us. They are not abiding you any kind of order. Still, you are so kind, so and the assemblies cannot take any action. Government, you cannot take any action. They said that Tenga, we do not want you. Say Tenga, we do not respect you. This is what. When you are disrespected government, we are hurt. We are a Manipur citizen. There is no word called Meitei chief minister. There is no word called the Kuki chief minister or minister. Manipur minister is a Manipur minister, or Manipur is a DGP is a Manipur DGP. We treat equally. We do not disrespect to any community that you are a SC or ST or you're Brahman or you're Rajkumar. No, we are all equally. So our request and our warning to the government of Manipur and to the Manipur citizen, be prepared to face any eventuality. India government is not keen at all to solve this burning issue. Why you are not realizing it? And what is the weakness, Manipur government and Manipur people? Manipur government, you may have weakness. We have no weakness. We are ready to die. We are ready to sacrifice our life for the cost of the Manipur. And you cannot play foul. And here cannot be anybody's interference. Government of India can advise. Why the Prime Minister not coming? Matter is very clear. He doesn't want Manipur. He doesn't want the valley people. Why? The government of India's Prime Minister should reply. Home Minister should reply. It is not that the Chief Minister or head of the government or anybody call, you do like this, you do like that. No. A government hated by a Chief Minister of Manipur. You are the king of our state. And you are to let the 59 other MLAs, including the oppositions, they are a part and parcel. They are the Manipur government. So you cannot rule them out. You take them into confidence. Before meeting anything, there is nothing wrong that you discuss with the opposition too. And as we know, in your own house, you have a lot of problems, innumerable problems. You try to set order. Although you don't say, we understand it. We want the peace to prevail in Manipur.
Yes.
And there is no call the cookie, chin cookie, everything. We are all brothers and sisters. And that is out of 35 community. We 34 community. We live peacefully, cohesively, friendly. See, there is nothing wrong. You were the only people. When, say, Assam, a problem you created, you are fired back. Bangladesh, you created problem, you fired back. Nagaland, you could not you could not go there again. There was a problem. Where you will go? So this is what humble my request. You all 10 MLAs, whatever you may be, your ministers, come back. This is your Manipur. And if you don't want to stay, you stay there. Otherwise, you have no right to set in the Manipur. Manipur belongs to anyone who thinks for Manipur,
Indeed, Babu,
he or she is eligible to stay in Manipur.
Yes, Babu.
So
Thank you for your remarks. Since our time is almost up, I'll have to cut you short respectfully. So yeah, on that note, we will have to wrap up today's episode, and I would like to thank our viewers for joining us and giving us your opinions and remarks and regarding the topic.
Can I just speak for 2 minutes?
Just half a minute. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, see, the whole problem arises because there's a little understanding of what mediation and conciliation is. I have been a part of a mediation in Supreme Court and also the High Court. A lot of misconceptions are swirling around. If you don't agree to a particular mediator, you can change it. If you want to walk out, you can walk out. If you want to suggest a particular solution, you can suggest. And there is no report given by the mediator. There is nothing. There is no report given by a mediator. If it fails, it fails. There is no report. So you don't have to be scared about a mediator.
Who is appointed as a mediator, so it has no say.
Yeah, and I also don't agree that what a prime minister cannot do, a mediator cannot do. That is wrong. Mediators have done a lot of things which other people cannot do because we have trained mediators. So forget about ex-prime ministers, ex-presidents. We have trained mediators trained by the Supreme Court judges. We have Supreme Court has a cell, so is Delhi High Court and other high courts also. Those trained mediators and conciliators can be roped in, and a lot of issues involving crores and crores of money also have been resolved. Okay. So let us not go on rhetorics and let us not politicize everything. Once we stop our rhetorics, once we stop politicizing issues, I think the solution could be quite close by. So the both sides have to exercise a lot of restraint. We have seen examples in how these inter-community issues are resolved in Jos city,
Right.
of course, both in Nigeria and in Plateau Islands. And Open has raised a very important issue about who will represent both the communities. Then we have to look at the international models. It's not that only our MLAs have to represent both the communities, because we know it very, very well. Our MLAs belonging to one community today stand completely outcast by,
Yes.
by people only. About the other 10 MLAs, I'm not sure about their position. So things can be worked out. Mediation as a tool is an important tool. It's a very useful tool. But the question is, who could be the who could be the right mediator? Of course, that can be discussed. Even we don't like a particular mediator, you can almost throw him out. You don't have to. His views are not binding. You can work out. There is no report, nothing. And the mediation has solved a lot of issues, especially such kind of inter-community issues.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your points. Yes, yes, it was indeed a good point. And then mediation, it doesn't depend on whoever is appointed. It does. What does it depend on is indeed workable solutions that indeed bring about a solution. So yeah, on that note, we'll have to wrap up today's episode. I'd like to thank our panelists for joining us to Oja Junior Luwang, Oja Bupenda, and also Pabung Sonamani for joining us and giving us your views. Thank you all once again, and we hope to see you soon again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'd also like to thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. We will be back again next Monday with more exciting topics. Until then, this is Amrita signing off. Have a good night.